So I've been talking about corporations and how the founding fathers just not only hated but feared the power um, and the capacity of corporations to accumulate power over time, and they've done exactly that. Uh, so where we're at the moment is that corporations not only have more legal rights than American citizens, but the people who run them have less legal responsibility than American citizens. So if a corporation, for example, uh, issues a drug that kills people, the corporation gets to pay a fine. The people who run it don't go to prison. It's almost unheard of for officers of corporations to go to prison. Wall Street can plunder the American economy, as we've seen, then get paid hundreds of millions of dollars to individuals in bonuses for doing that, and none of them go to jail for basically theft, let alone fraud and God else knows what else they did to get there. Even worse, because corporations now have no use by date and are in fact immortal, as they accumulate power, they also function on their own agenda, which is to grow profit. And there's a certain pathway for corporations to grow profit. Firstly, take over the media, and they've done that. Secondly, control politics, and they do that, so that corporations push their own agendas through the media. They also promote the politicians who support the corporations. They also pay for the electoral costs, the campaign costs of the politicians, who are then beholden to the corporations. Along the way, they do their very best to get basically the Republican Party, which seems to me to be the political wing of the corporations, they get the Republican Party to dismantle individual rights, civil rights, unions. I mean, Ronald Reagan broke the unions in America, and unions, which traditionally are affiliated with the Democratic Party, were one way that workers could actually get together and have some leverage in the workplace as a counterbalance to corporations earning and plundering profligate profits at the cost of workers. So if you look at the statistics, today in 2011, the average worker in America earns less than they did in the 1960s. So literally for 40 years, real income of workers has decreased while corporate power and wealth has increased, and the rich and ultra and uber and mega rich have become richer and richer and richer, so that you have a situation, for example, where the total wealth of Bill Gates is more than the total holdings of all stocks and bonds by all African Americans in America. If you took every stock and bond of every African American, all 10 million African Americans, their stock holdings are worth less than Bill Gates' personal wealth. In a culture like that, you better believe there's no equality. The problem then is that corporations continue to erode anything that stands in the way of profits. And they continue to grow their power and influence and infiltrate the culture to effectively brainwash people to a certain way of thinking, like it's okay to work 50 weeks a year and only have 2 weeks off. Most of the university research in America is now funded by corporations. Most of the scientific research is now funded by corporations. Most of the scholarships are given by corporations. So that basically where we're at today, and a fundamental profit in so-called free and democratic America, and it's neither, is that it's become a corporate consumer culture. I call America the CCC, the Triple C. It's a corporate consumer culture. So that everything that now happens in America gets plugged back into what's good for corporations, what increases consumerism. And that is the culture. And it's eating America alive, because It's come to the point where America is not a good place for people, for human beings to live. It's a great place for consumers to live if you have money.